So first things first, I want to go over is our team agency website. If you don't know, can you turn on my screen sharing? Awesome, thank you. So if you don't know, congrats on passing your exam, by the way, Rahila, that's awesome. But our team agency website, if you want to write this down, and if you haven't written this down, you're going to want to write this down and reference this over and over and over again. It's fflamerica.com. fflamerica.com. Go ahead and can someone unmute or thumbs up or something that you guys can see my screen okay?
Yes.
You see the FFL America? Love it. Thank you, Kim. So
Yeah.
fflamerica.com. So when I started, we didn't even have a website like this. Everything that I learned just through YouTube, just by YouTubing stuff and trying to find videos on YouTube. And now we have this amazing resource website that to this day, I still go back to and I still reference when I need to go find a link, when I need to go find a certain video, when I need to go find anything. My first thought is, hey, let me go check fflamerica.com first to see if I can find it myself and be resourceful. And if I can't find it, then I'll go ask my manager. So that's my thought process every single time whenever I'm looking for something is this website right here. And we're actually going to go through and do these steps together right now. So if you're on your phone, if you're on your computer, or however you're watching this, I want you to literally go to this website. We're going to knock out these 6 steps right now. This takes us about a minute per step. The first one is everyone needs to make sure that they're in the Facebook group. And all you got to do is you click this little here button and it opens up a separate tab and it takes you right to our Facebook group. So if you're already part of our Facebook group, it's probably going to look a lot very similar to this, where you're going to be able to see inside of it and everything going on inside of it. If you are not part of our Facebook group, it's going to ask, there's going to be a button that you can click to join, and you got to answer the membership questions. And so right now what I would do is if you're not in this Facebook group and you click that button and it's asking you to join, click the join button, answer the 3 questions. It's very simple. It'll take you 30 seconds and then request to join, and an admin will see that, and then you'll be invited and part of our Facebook group. So this is important. This is just part about staying plugged in. Super important to make sure that you're always plugged in. And I would check this at least once a day. A lot of good training in here, a lot of good motivation, phone scripts, etc. Like Trevor Dunbar talked about how he was visiting his dad, scooped up a $9 lead and made $1,500 in 45 minutes while visiting his dad. Like, that's awesome. Like, the best business ever. You could do that anywhere, right? So really first sale for Debbie. So lots of good information. Colorado made $11,470 in a sale. So not too shabby. So join our Facebook group, stay plugged in just by clicking that join. That's how you'll get that knocked out. The second thing that we're going to do right now together is you're going to text the word join, J-O-I-N, to this phone number right here. So literally take your phone, go to your messages app on your phone, type in 224-225-8777. And then you're going to want to literally just type in all caps the word J-O-I-N, join. If you've already done this, you don't have to do it again. If you have not done this, you already could have been done with it by now. So 224-225-8777, you're going to text join. What that's going to do is, just like you got a training call reminder for this training call tonight, it's going to send you one training call reminder before all of our training calls. That way, if you're busy, you forget, you're doing something, and you get the message, you're like, oh, snap, I forgot about that. I have time. Let me hop on. It'll do that for you. And if you're busy and you can't hop on, no big deal. But it's just about making it easier to stay updated whenever there's a lead coupon, a training call, etc. So text join to that number. The next thing is to join our team Slack. I'm going to let you do this on your own time once we're off the call here tonight, because this one could take a while. If you're not in Slack, though, you're going to want to be. And it's very simple. Again, you're going to click this link here. It's going to ask you to go download a link on your phone, follow the prompts. Pretty straightforward if you could just follow directions, right? So that's our team Slack app, and Slack is super important for just staying up to date with everything going on within our agency. Let me kind of show you a little bit here. So there's a couple channels that are super important in Slack. My personal favorite is the Sales Results Daily, because this is where people are posting their sales in real time. Like Robbie, approximately 8 minutes ago, just made $3,072 on a Sunday evening, and he posted his sale right here, which is awesome. We also have our own private channel that you have to be invited to. So if you're not in this FFL Fire one, ask your manager and they can invite you to this after the call. So that's what Slack's all about. Just again, another way of our agency specifically staying updated and staying in the loop. Next thing we want to talk about is work spots. So there's going to be a link to download work spots. I'm going to stop sharing my screen to talk about the importance of work spots. And so when I first started, there was no coupon codes for leads. And so we buy our own leads here at FFL. And I was paying 100%, every single dollar was out of my own pocket, zero coupons ever. And then FFL partnered with WorkSpots to create the WorkSpots app. And what that does is for WorkSpots members, it does a couple of different things, and I'm going to go over all of them. But the most important thing that it does is every single week on Wednesday, there is a coupon code. Sometimes, most often, the coupons are for leads, like 20% off internet leads, 40% off aged leads, 30% off instant internet leads, etc. And sometimes it's for other things. Like this last Wednesday, you can get up to $500 off a TV or something like that. I mean, it's just like a TV at Best Buy. So they do random coupons, but it's every single Wednesday. And when you think about the leads specifically, if we're buying leads every single week, which is what we do here at FFL to be successful, right? If you're spending $500 a week, $1,000 a week, whatever you're spending, and you have a WorkSpots app, well, if you're saving 40% on that $1,000, you're saving $400 a week, $800, $1,200, $1,600, and it adds up. The more and more you spend and invest in yourself, the more you're actually saving with the WorkSpots app. So the catch with the WorkSpots app is that it's $99 a month. So if right away you're just like, oh, well, I want those coupons, but I'm not willing to pay the $99, you're missing the bigger picture here. $99 a month, and just off one lead purchase, you're going to pay for it. It's going to pay for itself, possibly for the entire year, depending on how much you save in those leads. The other things that it does is it gives you access to every single office in the entire company. And so this business, straight up, in all honesty, it can be a lonely business. There could be a lot of times that you yourself could feel discouraged. You get hung up on a lot. You get the door slammed in your face. You're driving around all day by yourself. It can be a lonely business. And I cannot stress to you the importance of getting around like-minded people and going through the fight together. And the WorkSpots app is going to literally pull up. I'll show you right now. The WorkSpots app, literally you could pull up every single office in the entire company. And every time a new office opens, they add it into the WorkSpots app. So you can go see the closest office to you and get around like-minded people and dial together. Listen to top producers in real time and listen to the way that they dial, how they overcome objections, exchange phone numbers, do anything, but it just allows you to get around like-minded people. So this is not a lonely business. And you can see right here on my phone, there's a search bar up at the top, so you could search whatever state you're in. But if you're scrolling the number of offices that are here in WorkSpots, I mean, there are a lot of offices all over the country. And the goal is that by the end of this year, we're going to have 400 offices within this WorkSpots app. So 400 offices in 50 states, chances are there's going to be an office close to you. So can't stress the importance enough of WorkSpots, whether it's getting around like-minded people or whether it's the lead coupons. Either way, it's worth the $99 a month. It's going to be a tax write-off anyway. Talk to your CPA. They'll explain that to you. But super duper important. If you want to make money here at FFL, you have to buy leads. If you're going to buy leads, you might as well be saving money. It's a no-brainer. It's like Black Friday, but every single Wednesday, where everything's 40% off, 20% off, 30% off. So if you can get access to Black Friday every single week, why wouldn't you? That's exactly what WorkSpots is. So that's the WorkSpots app. That's newer. And I did not have that when I was a brand new agent. I wish I did, because I have probably spent in my career $150,000 in leads. And I can only imagine what that would have been if I had 20% off, 30% off throughout my whole career. I would have had an extra 50 grand in my pocket. So just keep that in mind. It may not seem like a huge difference now, but if you plan on making a career out of this, how would an extra 50 grand a year from now look in your bank account? Look pretty sweet. So just keep that in mind as you guys are thinking, should I get this? Should I not get this? No, get it. Get the WorkSpots app, click the link on FFL America. It's $99 a month. It's going to ask you to select a home office. You can select Phoenix if you want. If you want to stay connected with what our team is doing, I'd recommend selecting Dallas, Texas. Even if you're not local around Dallas, that's how you just stay updated with everything going on in this market and with our team. And if there is an office right in your backyard, select that office. If you live in Vegas, select the Vegas office. If you live in Atlanta, select the Atlanta office. If there's nothing immediately near you, you can select Phoenix or Dallas to stay updated with Grady's team or with our agency, and you'll get updates constantly. So that is the WorkSpots app. Next thing I want to go over is the corporate email blast. Watch how long this takes. Ready? You guys are gonna watch my screen. Like, we could even start a timer. I'm gonna show you just how easy this is. And people won't do this. The funny thing is, people are gonna watch this and they're not gonna do it. So I'm starting my timer now. Click the button. I have to fill out this info here. If I could type, I'd go even faster, but apparently I don't know how to type. City is Dallas, state is Texas. Who is your direct upline? Jordan Lowry. And then I would click the submit. That took me 27 seconds to do that. And now you get updates from corporate about training calls, work spots, conventions, et cetera, et cetera. So take the 27 seconds to go click this little button and sign up for FFL's email blast. If you don't like them, just unsubscribe. It's no big deal, but go ahead and do it. If you're committed to being here on a Sunday night, you might as well get all the way plugged in. That's what we're doing tonight. So, and the last thing is the boot camp, which the boot camp, we do not want you to start until you're contracted. So if you just passed your exam, congratulations, but we don't want you to start this quite yet, or if you're still studying for your exam, just because it's going to be overwhelming. There's a lot of information here in boot camp. It's really good. Kim, I'm going to pick on you. Can you unmute real quick? You just finished boot camp, right?
I just finished, yes.
Okay. Do you have any insurance experience prior to FFL?
None at all.
Okay. Talk to me, and we did not plan this for everyone. No. Talk to me about your opinion on boot camp, what you like best. Kind of give everyone the 30-second elevator pitch about why they should go through boot camp.
Gosh, I have my bachelor's degree sitting behind me, and I feel like boot camp was more valuable than that document behind me. So I feel extremely confident with phone scripts, with in-home, with objections, with where to go, which Slack channel to look in. Like, there's no stone left unturned in that boot camp.
100%. Appreciate that. That's I have a bachelor's degree too, and I have not used it yet. So to this day, I would say I would agree this boot camp is more valuable. So if you are contracted and you have not gone through boot camp, make a commitment. Today is Sunday. Make a commitment by next Sunday. You're going to finish this boot camp. It's about 30 hours worth of video. So if you plan 5 hours a day for the next 6 days, there's your 30 hours right there. You're all done by Sunday. So just keep that in mind. You can listen to it while you're driving. You can listen to it in the gym. You can wake up an hour earlier. You can sacrifice your TV time. It's worth it. This is how we get better. So that's our boot camp. And you're going to want to start that after you got your license. So if you are not licensed yet, you're studying for your exam, keep doing that. Don't overload the information. But if you are already licensed and you're in contracting, or you're already contracted, you have not done boot camp, you're going to want to make sure you knock that out. So that's the checklist. That's the checklist on fflamerica.com. We're going to go through that every single Sunday. It takes about 15 minutes, but it's important because, again, this is about going back to the basics and staying plugged in. And a good point from Stacy is the first time you go through boot camp, when you finish it, you actually get a coupon at the very end. They tell you how to do that, but you send an email to someone, show them that you finished with your certificate, and you get a coupon for your first lead purchase. So between WorkSpots, the lead coupons, between boot camp, the lead coupons, we're trying to get you set up to win the best we can. Okay, so that's our checklist on fflamerica.com. If you ever need to go reference it again, the website is fflamerica.com. Super duper simple. I've spent more time on this site than probably any other site in FFL in my entire career. The site has everything you need. You just got to know where to go find it. So click around, learn that website. So the next part of this call we kind of want to focus on is letting you know that this business is very, very simple, but it's not easy. So who do we message for the coupon? Message me, Cassandra, afterwards. It's for people that they just added it about a month ago. So if you did boot camp prior to a month ago, then they don't have that coupon. That's why they have WorkSpots now instead. But if you just recently finished the boot camp in the last 4 to 6 weeks, then you should have seen that at the very end of boot camp. So, so for this business is very, very simple, but it's not easy And you hear it all the time, but it's true that anyone can do this. So regardless of your prior experience, whether you've worked in sales, you've never worked in sales, you have an insurance background, you don't, you've had a regular job your whole life, you've been 1099 your whole life, it doesn't matter. Literally anyone can do this. What we do here at FFL is we buy interested people called leads. And whether it was a second ago, an hour ago, a month ago, or a year ago, at some point that was a person that had their family on their mind and sent in a request to get some sort of life insurance. So we're buying the interest of people, and regardless of your skill set, if you have enough quantity of people to talk to, you're gonna find the ones that are willing to hear you out. The biggest mistake that I see as a manager when I'm trying to coach new agents and work with new agents is because they don't have a belief in themselves, they're stingy with their lead purchases. They'll say, hey, I'm gonna kind of dip my toe in the water and I'm gonna spend $300 on leads, and if that works, then I'll buy some more. But if that doesn't work, then I just don't know if this is for me. I'm telling you right now, I've been doing this 2.5 years. If I spent $300 on leads, I don't know if I can get a sale off of that. Like, I cannot guarantee a sale off of $300 of leads. There's just not enough opportunities. But here's the thing, if I bought $750 worth of leads, or $1,000 worth of leads, or $1,500 worth of leads. Now, here's the thing, it sounds like a lot. You're like, man, that's my mortgage payment. But here's the thing behind it. For your direct upline, if you don't know who your upline is, you guys can go ahead and put myself, good question, Nick, on that corporate email blast. So the thing with leads is that you want to have enough opportunities that regardless of your skill level, you're able to step into the game and you can go 1 for 100 and make money. Let me say it again. The thing with leads is that you want to know that regardless of your skill level, you can go 1 for 100 and still make money. Our average sale here at FFL, we make about $1,000. Our average sale. Some sales are a lot bigger, like the one we saw 10 minutes ago. The guy made $3,000. Some sales are smaller, make $300-400 bucks. But our average sale, you're going to make about $1,000. And so if you're making $1,000 per sale and you spend $1,000 in leads, let's say you're buying a mix of our new internet leads and our instant internet leads. They're $9 and they're $11 each in the CRM, which we're going to go over the CRM in just a second. If you get 100 of those leads, that's going to run you about $1,000, right? Depending on the combination, 900 to 1,100 bucks. If you go 1 for 100, you break even. One, like, I think someone that doesn't even have their insurance license can go 1 for 100. They can call 100 people, or they can knock on all 100 doors and say, hey, I don't have a license or anything, but I think you wanted some life insurance at some point. And 1 out of 100 are going to be like, oh my gosh, I've been waiting for you. Come on in. Like, it doesn't matter your skill level. Anyone could do that. 1 out of 100. So why would you only go buy 20 leads? What are the odds of you finding that 1 in 100 if you only got 20, if you only got 20% of them? So the whole idea in my brain, when I'm looking at lead flow as a new agent, for me, it's quantity over quality. You want to give yourself enough opportunities to get better, and you're not going to do that if you only got 20 leads. Should you get Facebook leads that are $20 each? Absolutely. If you got the budget for it, do it, but don't spend all your money on Facebook leads. They're $20 each. You get 30 of them for $600. That's great, but like, you could have gotten 20 for $400 and an extra 40 or 50 age leads. Now you got 80 opportunities. That all of a sudden, doesn't matter your skill level. You can go 1 for 80. Anyone can go 1 for 80. If you don't think you can go 1 for 80, you should just get off the call. This business isn't for you. So the whole idea as a new agent is to take yourself out of the equation and realize that regardless of your skill level, regardless of your past experience, regardless of any of that, anyone can do this business if you just are willing to put in the work. And for me, that was super comforting because I was not that good when I started. Andrew Taylor always tells a story that his first ever dial day, when he sat down to dial, he was dialing and the person picked up the phone on the other end, and then he actually hung up on them. He said hello, and then he just hung up because he was scared, right? And now Andrew Taylor has an agency doing over $16 million a month. So it's one of those things that regardless of where you are at today, everyone starts off the same way. Everyone is scared for their first dial day. Everyone is scared to pick up the phone. Everyone is scared they're not going to say the right things. But If you got 100 at bats, you got 100 opportunities, you're going to at least break even. You literally just have to put in the work. If you buy 100 leads, you only call 20 and you call it quits, then yeah, you might lose money. That may happen, right? But if you're actually willing to work the 100 leads between calling them all over and over again and doing door knocks, literally anyone can go 1 for 100. And more than likely, you might even go 5 for 100. Which if you go 5 for 100, now you just made $5,000. You spent 1,000. Like, I don't know about, like, drop a 1 in the comments if you would exchange $1,000 for $5,000 every day of the week. Maybe I'm not good at math. Maybe it doesn't make sense. Okay, it does make sense. Okay, so if you know without a shadow of a doubt that every time you spend $1,000 you would get 5,000, you would do that, right? Well, go get 100 instant internet leads and just work them, because anyone can do that regardless of skill level. Paul McLean could do that, Grady Polson could do that, I can do that, and brand new agent who just passed their exam yesterday can do that. Anyone can do that. You just got to have enough at bats and not quit. So I see Tina raising her hand. I do want this to be interactive. So Tina, if you want to unmute, I would love to hear what you have to say. I don't know if you meant to raise your hand or not, but.
Nope, I didn't. I'm sorry.
Cool, all good. I'm gonna give you a high five with that hand then. So all good. Good stuff. So when it comes to lead flow, quantity over quality, especially as a new agent, you want to give yourself enough at bats, you want to give yourself enough opportunities. And if you know that all it takes is 1 to break even, if you spend $1,000, all of a sudden it takes a lot of pressure off the shoulders. If dial number 6, someone picks up the phone and hangs up, who cares? Move on. All right, you got another 98 leads to work. So that's what I got to say about lead flow. And the cool thing is that same thing is applicable day 187 as it is day 1. And so regardless of how far in your journey you are, if you're willing to spend the money and you're willing to work the leads that you buy, it's impossible not to make money here, because anyone could go 1 for 100, 2 for 100, 3 for 100. Literally anyone can do that. And the longer you do this, the better at it you're going to get if you're willing to put in the work. So that's what I got to say about lead flow. It's super important. And if you knew that, then in my brain, I'm like, why would I not give myself as many opportunities as possible to do that? So a takeaway from this call, if you're sitting back thinking, all right, how many leads should I get when I buy leads? Whatever you're thinking of buying, get some more. Trust me, you're not gonna regret having too many leads. Trust me. I have been in a position where I've had not enough leads. I'm going back calling the same lead for the 14th time in a day, and they didn't pick up the first 13 times, and I'm kicking myself that I didn't get more. But it's a good thing to have your schedule full and not get to some leads. That's a good problem to have. So trust me, however much you're willing to buy, stretch yourself and get a little bit more. If you're going to spend $700, spend 1,000. If you're going to spend 1,000, do 1,250. So just a note to self on the lead flow, right? Rahila asked, you have to go to their homes. Can you do it all from home? We teach and recommend going to people's homes. If you have an experience in telesales, or if you got something else worked out, then that's cool. But just want to let you know that we do teach and recommend, and boot camp recommends. You have a higher closing rate typically, and unless policies cancel if you go face to face, and you'll learn that in boot camp for Hilo. So when it comes to being interactive, I want to make sure I interact with you guys, because I could talk all night. Like I'll literally just sit here and I'll talk your guys' ear off. I'm Italian, so I need someone brave, a brave soul other than Kim, because I've already picked on Kim, to go ahead and unmute and share with me one thing that you've taken away from tonight so far. A brave soul. And we're going to kind of talk about that a little bit more. Who's going to be the brave soul?
Hey, I'm Alex.
Yes.
Hello?
What's up? Yes. What's up?
Obviously the systems that we do here, just doing it, repeating the process. Eventually, it's just becoming repetitive here. So I think that's just my biggest takeaway of just making it simple and not trying to make it harder than it needs to be.
Absolutely. And I agree. And like, that was a problem that I had, is I tried to like be smarter than the system 2-3 months in, where I was just like, hey, I'm going to like only text my leads and see how that goes, because I don't want to dial. I was trying to get creative, and I lost a lot of money doing that. So learning to master the mundane and just trust the numbers over and over again makes a big difference. So Jeremy, pick me, LOL. Jeremy, you want to go ahead and unmute? What's one takeaway you've gotten so far?
you want to make it in this business, you have got to invest in them leads, man. I mean, that's the biggest thing. The leads, taking all the training you're giving us and apply it. Not just look at it, take it in, absorb it like a sponge, and invest in yourself.
100%. If you have enough leads, this business becomes easy. The problem becomes when you've only got the same 20 leads and now you're stressing. That's stressful. What's not stressful is having so many leads you can't keep up with them all. That's a good problem to have. And you notice, guys, we're 27 minutes in. How much have I talked about products so far? Products doesn't matter. You're going to figure out the products. We're going to touch on that for like 2 minutes here in a second. But the products are simple. Whole life's permanent, term is temporary. And if you have a question about which one to write, you call your manager. There's your product training, right? And lead with America. Lead with America. There's your product training right there. But if mastering the lead flow and mastering the phones, which is what we're going to talk about next, if you guys can master lead flow and phones, you're going to get in people's homes. And if you're getting people's homes of people who want insurance, not that hard to find a product for them. If you don't know what product to write, you just call your manager. So Shakara had something she wanted to say as well. So Shakara, what's up? Oh, you're muted. There you are.
There we go. So what I learned so far in this business is this is slowly. Do not do this by yourself. There's only one or two ways to do it. You're on a dial team or you're in the office. If you're not doing one of those, you're not doing it.
Yes, and we're going to talk about dial team. So since you just brought it up, we'll actually segue to that right now. So dial team. So we talked about work spots. Work spots is an office. And at the end of this call tonight, if you haven't already gone the work spots app, you need to. You got to be coachable. But like for me, tomorrow's dial day. I'm going to make sure I have my leads. I'm going to get to the office. I'm going to dial here in Dallas, Texas. So let's say you live in Uncasville, Connecticut. You can click on Uncasville, Connecticut, learn all the information about that office, and go show up at the office for dial day. If you don't have an office that you can plug into, then the alternative to that is what's called dial team. You're going to want to write down this link I'm about to give you. So pen to paper, the link for dial team is FFL dial, DIAL team.com, FFLdialteam.com. When you go to that website, it's going to ask you for a password. The password is all capital FFL. So what is FFL Dial Team? What it is it's just like this. It's an interactive participating Zoom call, but it's specifically every single person dialing the phone. And the cool thing is you could do one of two things on Dial Team. You could either dial muted, where you're muted, just like you guys are right now, and listen to whatever manager's on the call book. And you're going to learn a lot just from listening to them dial in real time. Or you can choose to unmute yourself and be brave enough to dial the phone unmuted. And maybe you get hung up on, maybe you book an appointment, who cares, we all do. And then right afterwards, you're going to get feedback from people. So in real time, you're going to be dialing a lead, you're going to do your phone script, someone's going to hang up on you. And then Jamie's going to unmute and say, hey, Shakara, hey, that was awesome. Jamie over here. Is it okay if I give you a little bit of coaching? And you say, yes, absolutely. And they literally coach you right there on the spot. And so it's the same exact culture you get in the office, but it's just virtual. And you could even if you sit there completely muted, you have all your sound off, just being around the people, it gets rid of some of that loneliness of this business. It's super duper useful. So Kim, I saw you raised your hand. Do you have something you want to say about Dial Team or anything else in general?
I do. So Bootcamp covered this a lot, but is it acceptable to join Dial Team if we're still waiting for carrier contracting?
Yes, 100%. I would not do Dial Team if you are studying for your exam, because your only goal is to get your exam done within 2 weeks. So block out distractions. But as soon as you pass that exam, I would be on Dial Team every single Monday or Thursday, or in a physical office. Those are the only two options. If you're dialing, you're either in an office physically, like Dallas, Texas, right here, or Phoenix or Vegas, wherever you live, or you're on Dial Team to learn, because 80% of this business is lead flow and phones. If you figure out lead flow and phones, the rest of this business becomes super easy. You're just driving around town, picking up checks. But if you don't know how to get your lead flow down, if you don't invest in yourself in leads, and you can't book an appointment to save your life, doesn't matter if you're an encyclopedia of products, you know every product inside and out. If you can't get in front of anyone, no one's going to want to buy from you if you can't get in front of anyone. More important is getting in front of interested people. So absolutely, Kim, great question. And that starts tomorrow. Just, today is Sunday. So at the end of this call, You're going to make sure you have your leads, and you're going to know exactly what you're doing for dial day. You're either going to be on dial team, or you're going to be in an office, and you're going to know exactly what you're going to do, one or the other, at the end of this call here. So great question. So I was going to touch on that later, but I'm glad we touched on that now. So it's either an office or it is dial team. Anyone have a dial team name, number, and password? Driving, can't get it. Yes, Shawan. So it's ffldialteam.com. Password is all capital FFL. And the cool thing, Shawan, is if you're in Slack, which if you're on this call, you should be in Slack because we went over that. Every single Monday and Thursday, it's posted inside of Slack. So if your Slack notifications are on, you're going to get that notification that says join dial team, and it'll be posted right there with the info, and you jump on. And it starts as early as, I think, 7 a.m. Eastern, either 7 a.m. or 8 a.m. Eastern, but it's early because that's when people are waking up before their day starts. 7. Thank you, David. Appreciate that. So we went over lead flow. We touched on dialing a little bit. One last thing I want to touch on for dialing is just like the whole 1 for 100 thing. Dialing is the exact same way. Yes, you should practice your dialing before you do it. We're going to touch on phone scripts in a second, but who do you think is going to have more success? Just we're going to do a little poll here in the comments. So person A, brand new on their dial day, does 80 dials. Person B, brand new on their dial day, does 300 dials. Who's going to have more success? Person A, who does 80 dials, or person B, who does 300 dials? Person B. Okay. So we all agree that the more opportunities you give yourself, the better chance of having success. But here's the thing, all of us are agreeing with that, but some of you guys won't do it. Some of y'all are going to start dialing, you're going to get discouraged because people hang up on you, and you're going to find something else to do with your time. You're going to start trying to text them. You're going to remember that you have to do the laundry, then you just did it yesterday. Oh my gosh, I got to go wash that one dish I forgot about. Let me take my dog out again. You're going to find any excuse not to dial, and you're going to look down at the end of your dial day, and you're going to do 80 dials. You're going to say, Alex told me I was going to do that. I told myself I wasn't going to do it, and I did it anyway. So it's okay. It happens to all of us, myself included. I get distracted and find reasons not to dial on dial day. But the truth of the matter is, if you do 300 dials on dial day, statistically, you will have more success than if you do 80. So if you know that, start early, set an alarm for 6:30, get up, take a shower, do a workout, eat a good breakfast, whatever you got to do, and be ready to sit down and dial, and be ready starting at 8 a.m. or earlier. And you just keep going until your calendar is full. How many people do you typically dial on dial day, Amanda asked? Until the job is done. So the goal is to book 16 appointments. Some days it'll take you 4 hours. 8 a.m. to noon, you got your 16 appointments. You're done. You can enjoy your lunch, and your day is done. Some days it's going to take you 10 hours. People just keep hanging up on you, just something in the air. Whatever it is, some days it takes longer. That's why we call it dial day. You go with the expectation that it's a full day, but if you stay disciplined, typically it doesn't take all day. Typically it could be done before, usually around, I'd say 3 p.m. 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. you get to enjoy the rest of your afternoon and evening if you stay disciplined and knock out your 300 dials. So and then Kim mentioned dial tracker, which I'm going to go over right now. What's a great, good, and bad average? For me, if I was a new agent, I'd tell everyone you're going to book 1 in 25 dials as a new agent. So if you guys want some expectations, right? So if you do 300 dials, that's 12 appointments. So that's a really good day, first dial day. Book 1 in every 25. Some people get discouraged on number 36 because they haven't booked 1 yet. Then they go and book number 37 and number 38 back to back, right? So don't get discouraged. The numbers work themselves out. But if you quit on dial number 36, you don't give the numbers a chance to work themselves out. Just like anyone can go 1 for 100, anyone can book enough appointments if you do 300 dials. Anybody. So Kim talked about dial tracker. Going to go over that real quick, as well as phone scripts. We're back to our favorite website, fflamerica.com. So if you have a question about the phones, you should probably click on the button that says phones, and you're going to learn a lot about the phones on the phones button on the website. So, oh look, phone scripts. We have different variations of phone scripts. And so do whichever one you like better, all right? Or listen to dial team and say, hey, dial team, this person's doing this phone script, so I'm going to do this phone script, right? The phones are super important. So there's 2 different phone scripts for final expense leads. There's 2 different phone scripts for internet leads. There's 2 different phone scripts for mortgage protection leads. There's a whole workbook on objections. Every objection you can think of. There's a couple key things to remember. And then there's this stuff up here. I gotta go, call me back later. I've already got it taken care of. How much is this gonna cost? I don't have time. I don't remember that. I'm no longer interested. I can't afford it. Every objection you could think of, there's an answer for. Are you gonna memorize this day 1? No. But have this printed out and have it right next to you while you're dialing. Or listen to Dial Team, how people overcome it. All right. We have training on all this. It just takes time and effort, and the resources are there. And then also, the whole dial tracker takes the emotion out of it. So you open up this dial tracker, you print it out. And after you print it out, you don't want to save it. You're going to actually want to print it. And when you go print it out, every time you push that little green button on your phone, you just put a little slash in a box. /1, /2, /3, /4. Oh, they picked up this time. I'm going to put a circle. Now I'm doing my phone script and I didn't book them. Oh well. /6, /7, /8. Oh, dial number 9, they picked up, put a circle, and I booked them, so I'm going to put an X. Boom, or I can color in the box. Awesome, got 1. /10, /11, /12, /13, /14, /15, /15. Number 21 picked up, and I didn't book them. // takes the emotion out of it. You can see right here, this thing's got 250 slashes on it. Go for 300. If you fall short and do 250 and you fill this thing up, you had a really good dial day, right? And the piece of advice what I tell all my new agents is if you are 100 dials in and you're not happy with your results, call your manager. Hey, I'm staying really disciplined. It is, it's 10:15 a.m. I'm 100 dials in and I've only booked 1 appointment. I need some help. Maybe there's something I'm doing wrong. Can you help me out? Trust me, if I got that call as a manager, I would stop whatever I'm doing and help that person, because that person's actually putting in the work to have success. Those are the kind of people that we want to work with as managers. So keep that in mind, is that use the dial tracker, it takes the emotion out of it, and don't be scared to reach out to your manager for help. Dial Team makes it a lot less scary because everyone's doing it, and the office makes it a lot less scary because everyone's doing it. But if you choose, and it's literally a choice now because you know about it, you can't say you didn't know. If you choose to just stay off Dial Team, not go to the office, be a hermit in your room, and maybe have some music playing and have a sandwich over here and your dog over there and the TV on quietly, then you wonder why you didn't have a good dial day. Hey, it was your choice. Now you know. So, Paul, I saw you raised your hand. Is it something you want to share?
Yes, appreciate it, Alexander. Question. So I've seen a couple of different ways of how you dial your, I haven't had a dial day yet, so I'm asking ahead of time. Do you recommend you call the same person 3 times in a row, or do you call them and then give them another try later in the day? What's your take on that?
Great question. Great question. And the videos do talk about this, but I'm glad you brought that up because some of this stuff is just second nature to me, and I forget that this is good stuff to go over. So 3 times in a row. For me, I do triple dial, which means literally I call the same person, dial, rings for 30 seconds. As soon as the voicemail starts, hang up. Just call them immediately right again. Dial a second time, 30 seconds, voicemail starts, hang up. Not leaving a voicemail. Dial a third time, 30 seconds, voicemail starts, hang up. I do triple dial and then I send a text. Personally, I like to send a text. And usually while the phone is dialing, I'm on my phone getting that text ready in case they don't pick up, because time is valuable. I don't want to be wasting time manually typing out a text message while I could be dialing the phone. So I got 90 seconds, right? The first dial is 30 seconds, hang up. The second dial is 30 seconds, hang up. The third dial is 30 seconds, hang up. That's 90 seconds for me to get my text message ready. And then as soon as that text message is ready and they don't pick up the third time, I'm clicking send and I'm on to the next dial already. I'm going to go over what the text says. So if Mark, if that's your question, I'm going to answer it. If not, I got you in just a second. My text message is the first 2 or 3 lines of the phone script. That's it. Hey, Kim, this is Alex getting back to you about that life insurance request. They got me in your area tomorrow and Wednesday to get you the information. Is 2 p.m. or 6 p.m. better for you? That's it. I'm getting right to the point. And the cool thing is if you actually book an appointment off of a text, that is a very high quality appointment because They had the choice to ignore your text after they read it, and they still chose to meet with you. And it's so direct, they know exactly why you're coming over. You're not beating around the bush at all. So usually on a dial day, out of my 16 appointments, I'll say about 4 of them I book via text. So I book 12 over the phone, and then throughout the time I'm dialing, I'll get texts back 10 minutes later, 30 minutes later, an hour later from people. And if they say 2 p.m. and I've already scheduled a 2 p.m. because they texted me back 2 hours later, I'll just put them in at 1. And I'll say, okay, could be a few minutes early or late, really busy, see you tomorrow. Right? And it just go for it. Right? What's the worst case scenario? They're not home, you go to your next appointment. Oh well. But the whole idea is if you got enough appointments in the books, you're gonna stay busy. You're gonna do that. So that's my dial strategy. Yes, other people, they may see other things. For me, it's 3 times back to back to back, no voicemail. Because voicemail, you gotta sit there and wait for the whole prompt, and then it beeps, and then you gotta speak and say the whole voicemail, and then you hang up. And if you're anything like me, I've got 7 unread voicemails on my phone, because if it's a phone number I don't know, I don't listen to voicemails personally. So do the text though. Everyone reads text. Even if they don't respond, you're going to open it and say, hey, who is this person? They know my name. They said, hey, Kim, to start the text. Who is this person? How do they know me? So triple dial text next. So each call, each lead should take you 90 to 100 seconds because you're calling 3 times in a row, 30 seconds, sending the text on to the next one right away. That's how you go through it efficiently. You get your 300 dials in. It's got to be like, it's a skill. You got to learn it, but it's got to be like clockwork. You're not Googling where their address is. You're not doing any of that. Who cares? If you're not getting them on the phone, who cares where they live? You can figure out you're driving around later, but if you only get 2 appointments, guess what? You got all day to drive around. If you got 8, 10, 12 appointments, then you start getting more selective about that stuff. So, Mark, so I got your hand up. Love for you to unmute and whatever you got, go for it.
No, you answered my question. I wanted to know what the text was. But as somebody that's been, in business for a long time, I want to tell all the young people on this call, this is not a job, this is a business, and you're investing in your business and you're an entrepreneur. It's a different thing, because I'm in real estate and I've been in real estate for 18 years. And a lot of people come into real estate thinking that it's a job that they're going to get a paycheck. And it's not like that. You've got to invest in this business. And you've got to buy leads and you've got to do what you have to do to get to the point where you get the customers in the door. So it's all really good information tonight.
Absolutely. Appreciate you sharing that. And it's true, treating it like a business makes a huge difference. So a couple other things we want to go over. We're trying to keep this under an hour each Sunday. So a couple other things we want to go over is favorite videos. Each week, whoever's doing the training is going to share some of their favorite training videos. And all my training videos are actually on bootcamp, but these are the ones that I go back and listen to over and over and over again. And I'm actually going to go pull them up on YouTube so I could show you just how easy it is to go find training videos for FFL. So if I'm on youtube.com and I search, basically if you search any trainer, you're going to find their videos, but let me kind of go ahead and show you. So if I search Paul McLean final expense, right? That's one of my favorite ones. Right here, 8 steps to final expense. This video is one of my favorites. 2 years ago, it's specifically, I'm sorry? Zoom in. Got it. Thank you for the tip. I got this big monitor here. I can see better now. Cool. Paul McLean, final expense. 8 steps to final expense with Family First Life VP Paul McLean. All you do is you go to YouTube and you search. Even if I didn't put final expense, I can go Paul McLean FFL. And you'll see it's the very first result, right? So you could search probably any trainer. If you find a trainer that you like a lot, just search their name in FFL and you're going to find their videos on YouTube. This is how I started. I didn't have boot camp. So Grady Polson told me about Paul McLean, Matt Smith, and Andrew Taylor. I literally went Paul McLean FFL. I went Matt Smith FFL. Oh, wow, look. Matt Smith FFL. Phone tips, how to set more appointments, phone and in-home training, improving your dialing and phone strategy. Like there's training is everywhere. So it's not about saying, oh, I don't have the resources. No, you have the resources. Now it's about being resourceful and actually doing the work, right? And then same thing for like Grady Polson. Grady Polson FFL. Sure enough, he's got his own YouTube channel and he's got all these amazing videos about him doing training, other people doing training, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So that's what I'd recommend. My favorite videos, my favorite trainers are those three: Paul McLean, Grady Polson, Matt Smith. And whenever I have drive time or downtime, I literally go to YouTube and I do exactly what I just did. I find a video I haven't watched yet and I just click play and I listen. I listen to Matt train, I listen to Grady train, listen to Paul train, and their word tracks become my word tracks. I hear it over and over and over again, and I get in the home, and all of a sudden they say something, and I'm like, I don't even know where that came from, but it's because you heard that video over and over and over again. It just became second nature. And all of a sudden, you're like an experienced veteran day one. So, two more things I want to go over tonight before we kind of wrap it up is I want to do some role playing for the phones. Just because, like I said, phones are super duper important. And I'm going to go ahead and book someone just so you can hear what a phone script sounds like all the way through. Again, this is nothing groundbreaking. You can find this exact same thing on Bootcamp or any of the 100 videos on phone script. Just want to kind of go through with you so you kind of get the idea of what it looks like. So, brave soul tonight, I'm going to go ahead and pick on is Amanda Smith. Amanda, I need you to unmute because you've been so interactive in the comments.
Hi.
Hey, how you doing, Amanda?
Good. How are you?
Good. Where are you based out of, Amanda?
Boise, Idaho.
Boise, nice. And who are you working with?
Cassandra Carter.
Awesome. She writes like 30, 40, 50K every single month. So
Yeah.
she's a good one to learn from. So do anything. So let's go ahead. We're going to role play. I'm going to book you. I'm going to book you as an internet lead. Okay. And I want you to throw one objection at me at any point. Don't tell me when you're going to do it because we never know. I'm going to overcome an objection for an internet lead. All right.
Okay.
All right, cool. So ring, ring, ring. Ring, ring.
Hello.
Hey, Amanda.
Yes.
Yeah, hey, Amanda, this is Alex, and I'm just getting back to you about this life insurance request that hit our office here in Dallas County. I'm just the underwriter. It's been assigned to your case. I was just calling to verify the information real quick. It looks like your date of birth you put down as January 24th, 1978. Is that right?
That's correct.
Okay, and are you still over at the 123 Main Street in Dallas?
Yes.
Okay, and is that a house or an apartment?
It's a house.
It's a house. Okay. And when you sent in this life insurance quote request, were you looking just for yourself, or did you have a spouse in mind as well?
For me and my spouse.
For you and your spouse. Okay, perfect. Gotcha. So your first time checking it out, or have you looked into this before?
We've looked into it before.
Looked into it before. Okay. So as you may or may not know, all the plans are all non-medical. So there's no nurses, no needles, nothing like that. Instead, they just send a state licensed underwriter, such as myself, out for about 15 minutes just to review the options with you and your spouse. And whatever you do with that is entirely up to you, but it's super simple. It takes about 15 minutes. So for you and your spouse, are you guys still working or are you retired?
We're working.
You're working, okay. And is it like a 9 to 5? Is it weekends? Like what's your typical work schedule?
Yeah, we work 9 to 5, so we're not home very much. Is it something that you can just send through the mail, or do you have to come out to my house?
Man, I wish I could send it in the mail. That'd make my job so much easier. But because they are state regulated, they do make us verify your ID just to make sure there's no identity theft going on. And the good news is, like I said, it only takes about 15 minutes. And they got me seeing like 10 families a day. So I wouldn't be able to stay long anyway. So that's really good. You guys are busy because I'm super busy too. So in terms of scheduling, you said 9 to 5. Is that just Monday through Friday, or do you ever work weekends?
Sometimes we work weekends as well.
Sometimes you work weekends as well. Okay. And what's usually like the latest that you or your spouse are in the door from work Monday through Friday?
Usually about 7 o'clock.
Usually about 7 o'clock. Okay. Well, today is Monday. So I'm looking at my calendar for tomorrow and Wednesday. And as I'm sure you can imagine, those evening slots really popular. So I don't have a ton of availability, but I'm actually going to be right down the street from you tomorrow between about 7:15 and 7:45. Is there any reason you want to be home around that time?
No, probably not. I should be home.
Okay, you should be home, or you guys will definitely be home. So it's very valuable time slot. So I can always give it to someone else unless you know for sure you'll be home. So you'll for sure be there at that time, right?
Yeah, we'll make sure we're home.
Make sure you're home. Yeah, it only takes 15 minutes, like I said, so that's perfect. So, and in terms of scheduling, do you typically write things down on a pen and paper, or do you have a calendar you work off of?
Yeah, I just work off my phone on the calendar.
Work off your phone. Okay, gotcha. Go ahead and open up your calendar real quick. Just need you to jot down 1 or 2 things, and then let me know when you're ready. No rush. I'll wait.
Okay, go ahead.
All right, perfect. So I got you down for tomorrow between 7:15 and 7:45. This is over the life insurance. And my name was Alex, Alex. And just to make sure I got the right address here, it's the 123 Main Street. Is that right?
That's correct.
Okay, gotcha, perfect. Then I got a confirmation code for you. It's actually my state license number. So when I get to the door, I want you to verify this with me. If anyone else shows up and they don't have this code, don't let them in the door, okay?
Okay.
Okay, you ready for my confirmation code?
Yeah.
All right, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Can you read that back to me?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Okay, perfect. And when I get to the door, I'm going to ask, do you have a confirmation code? You just say that back to me and you'll know it's me, okay?
Okay.
Okay, and then for the 123 Main Street, are there any like gate codes or gates or anything stopping me from getting to the door?
No, there's not.
No, there's not. Okay, gotcha. And I should pull up on the GPS just fine. Do you want me to park in like the driveway or in front of the house, or what's easier for you guys?
Yeah, there's plenty of street parking. You can just park in front of the house.
Street parking. Okay, cool. That way I don't block you guys in. So, okay. And again, like I said, my name was Alex. I got a lot of appointments tomorrow. So I could be a few minutes early or late, but definitely won't be there before 7. I could be as late as like 8 or 8:15, but you guys will for sure be there, you said, right?
Yeah, we'll make sure we're there.
Okay, perfect. All right, I'll do my best to be on time, but look forward to meeting you and your spouse and helping you guys out tomorrow.
Awesome. Thank you, Alex.
You're welcome. So a couple things on that. Good job. Thank you, Amanda. Appreciate your help. So a couple things I want you to stay here with me. You're not done yet. Stay unmuted. So you're still so a couple things. First off, have you gone through any boot camp or anything like that yet or no?
No, so I'm taking my test tomorrow. So I'm new.
You're new.
Yeah.
Love it. Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
So a couple things with phone script then, Amanda. A couple of the basics is every phone script, regardless if it's whatever variation it is, there's 3 parts to every phone script. There's verifying info, clearing the calendar, and then cementing the appointment. You guys are going to want to write that down. Verify the info, clear the calendar, and then cement the appointment. So verifying the info is that first part where I was letting you know why I'm calling, got the date of birth, got the address, all that stuff, right? Spouse or not, that was verifying the info. And then I did what's called clearing the calendar. So instead of just saying, so they got me in your area tomorrow, is 2 or 6 better? Who knows? I don't know your schedule yet, right? So clearing the calendar is where you ask as many questions as possible to make sure that when you do suggest a time, you know with almost 100% certainty that that time slot is available because you dug really deep into their schedule. So for you as someone who works, is it 9 to 5? Is it part-time? Is it weekends? Gotcha. What's the latest you're in the door from work? Do you have any doctor's appointment? You know, if it's someone who's retired, got any doctor's appointments going on tomorrow or Wednesday, right? So you want to clear the calendar. That way they can't say, oh, I'm busy at that time. Oh, I'm busy at that time. You want to clear the calendar. And then that way, when you suggest a time, you know it's available. What's the latest you're in the door from work? 7. Gotcha. Any reason 7:15 and 7:45 would not work tomorrow. With 99% certainty, I know that time's available because you just told me you guys are home by 7. Right? So that's called clearing the calendar. And then the last part is cementing the appointment. And that's where you do the confirmation code, you read it back 1, 2, 3 times. You ask about the house numbers. Is there a gate or gate code? You want to like make sure that they realize that I am a physical human being and I am real and I am coming to your house tomorrow between 7:15 and 7:45. It's not just something they can just write off and forget about. Like you're going to be sitting there tomorrow and it's going to be 6, it's going to be 6:30, it's going to be 7. They're going to be like, oh man, that guy's going to be here any minute now because I really cemented that appointment and it's impossible to forget. And what's going to happen is some people are going to remember you're coming. Some people are going to still forget, even though you do all that. But you're also going to get a lot of cancellation texts. You're going to get people to say, hey, Alex, tonight's just not a good night. Then you're going to show up and they're not even going to mention that they texted you. You're just going to act like you never got it. Hey, I'm here for our appointment, shoes on or off. And then you go through the whole thing, right? So that's a little bit more. You're going to learn this in about 2-3 weeks, Amanda, after you pass your exam, get in boot camp. But That's phone script. So thank you for volunteering as tribute.
Awesome.
It's like
Thank you.
Hunger Games or something. So you did great. So thank you.
Thanks.
And then last thing I want to go over tonight to kind of wrap up this call, everyone, is I wanted to go over the in-home. And again, notice we're 57 minutes in. We've talked about getting plugged in. We've talked about lead flow. We've talked about phones. No in-home, no product yet, right? So that's because that's that 97% of this business is the phones and lead flow and staying plugged in. If you do that, everything else becomes super duper easy. So I'm going to share my screen one more time and show you everything you need to know about the in-home. Okay. If I'm back on fflamerica.com, right? There's this awesome button here. It says presentation. Can't miss it. Right here is everything you need to know about the in-home. And this is also in boot camp, but there are hours and hours of audios and videos all about the in-home in here. But the most important part to all of this, and what I tell all my new agents, is this sheet right here. Credibility sheet and financial inventory. You're going to click on that. And every single home, you're going to go over this. So in the first 5 minutes, you're going to show them all the carriers that you work with. Say, hey, I'm a broker. I work for you, not for one company. We're going to shop around today to find what makes the most sense for you, because you don't want to just be like shoved down just one product, right? You want to shop around and get the best. Absolutely. Okay, perfect. So exactly what we're going to do today. So you make sure you get them to realize that I'm on your side. And then you show them this sheet and say, all right, Mary, we're going to fill out this sheet together. It's got a couple quick medical questions, couple quick finance questions. And after this, we'll pick whichever product is best for you and we'll submit an application. Does that sound fair? And they're like, okay. So this is all you do in the in-home. First 5 minutes, you're building up that rapport, you're building up that trust by letting them know that you work for them. You fill out the sheet, and to fill out the sheet, you just read line for line and fill it out with them. And then at the end of this, you're going to do one thing and one thing only if you're a new agent. I'm going to show you right now. You ready? Super duper simple. All right, Mary, I have a pretty good idea of what we're going to go ahead and do here, but just to be sure, I'm going to call my senior underwriter just to get a second opinion, make sure I put you in the best position. So let me just call my senior underwriter real quick, and this will take just a moment. And you're going to call your manager, and you're going to be peeing down the side of your leg because you have no idea what to do, and that's okay. And you're going to say, hey, Alex, hey, I'm sitting here with Mary and John, and I got a good idea of what we want to go with, but I just want to double check it with you. And we'll say, go ahead. And you're literally going to read off that sheet, and we're going to tell you to write Americo Eagle Premier. And you're going to say, that's exactly what I was thinking. I just wanted to double check. Thank you so much. And now the client's going to be sitting there saying, this guy's good. Like, he knows his stuff. And you had no clue. And it sounds hilarious, but it works every single time. And we're going to tell you literally exactly what to write. And you better have that bookmarked, right? So if you don't know, oh my gosh, I didn't bookmark all my links. Share my screen. Right here on this presentation page, here's your eApp logins. There they are. Go bookmark them. And they also come in every single email you get from the carrier. If you get an email from a carrier, they're going to give you the login link to the eApp. You should probably save that when you get your writing numbers. Just for recommendations. You're not sitting there saying, all right, so how do I go to Americo, Alex? And it's like, oh my gosh. So you're definitely going to want to make sure you save all this stuff before you get in the home, right? And we're going to tell you to probably do Americo every single time, but there are certain situations you don't. Someone asked, is Eagle Premier good for final expense or term? Eagle Premier is whole life final expense, and your manager will explain that on the phone. They're literally going to tell you how to sell it. They're going to tell you what to say. Like when I called Grady when I was new, I was reading through everything, and I'm like, yeah, so he's got high blood pressure, and he's in my ear. Ask him what his last reading was. Hey, what was your last reading? Like 150 over 95, 150 over 95. Then he's in my ear and he goes, go, And I sat there and I went, Like, we literally will coach you through all the mannerisms, what to say, how to sell the product. If you just trust us, we are there for you. And trust me, if you're booking 12, 14, 16 appointments, let us know so we can make sure that either your direct manager or someone else is available to help you out in your first couple of run days. So it sounds silly, it sounds crazy, but I probably called in the home my first 30 appointments. No joke. My first 30 appointments, I called every single home. I called Grady. And every single time is the exact same thing. I have a good idea. I just want to double check. And I had no clue. And Grady told me what to say, what mannerisms to do, how to sell it, how to explain it. And my first 30 appointments, I went like 13 for 30. So nothing spectacular. And I made 13 grand. All right. Because each sale you make about $1,000. So if you can make 13 grand just by calling your manager and learning it, it's because we're sitting with interested people. You just don't mess up. Don't mess it up. Don't throw up on them. Like, fill out the sheet and call your manager. We will walk you through it. I promise. So that's why you don't need to know the products. You're going to learn the products just by staying plugged in and doing the apps over and over again, right? You're going to learn the products. You're going to learn the in-home just by doing that same sheet over and over again, and then doing the application over and over again and staying plugged in the training calls. So just to review everything we went over, I want to make sure we touched on everything. FFLamerica.com, we went through that checklist on the homepage. Now you guys are all plugged in. Went over how to go find your favorite videos on YouTube by searching trainers. We did some role playing, and I encourage all of you after this call, there's still 76 of you guys who made it a full hour. Text your manager the second we hang up this phone call and say, hey, I was on the new agent call tonight. I had a great time. I would love to role play tomorrow before dial day. As a manager, if I got that text, I'd be doing cartwheels, front flips, back flips, everything. We love to help people who want to be helped. So reach out to your manager, let them know that you stayed to the end of the call and that you want to do some role playing, and we will help you. We went over leads. More is always the answer. If you have quantity over quality, especially as a new agent, give yourself as many opportunities as possible. We went over if you're dialing, it's 1 and 2 options. So you're either on dial team. So tomorrow morning, it's ffldialteam.com. Password is FFL tomorrow morning, tomorrow morning, tomorrow morning. ffldialteam.com, password FFL tomorrow morning. Or you're in an office, which you'll find on WorkSpots. And we went over that if you need help with anything else beyond this, reach out to your manager and they'll coach you through. If it's not important, they're going to say respectfully, don't worry about that right now. Focus on the phones, because it's probably not. Because if it's not leads or if it's not the phones, it's probably not important. So any other, I don't want to like go on the whole night, but are there any other just pressing questions, anything else I missed that you as a new agent are like, I'm really not confident in this. I don't think I can make 20K a month based off what we went over tonight. Mark, fire away, my guy.
I have
Where
a
can we
question.
find this recording, Al?
The recording, so this is being recorded. We're going to get it edited. I got Leslie who does my video editing. And as soon as the edit is done, we will post it in the FFL Fire Slack channel. It'll also be on my YouTube channel. So if you're in Slack, if you're on the FFL Fire Slack, you will see the recording when it's posted. This is also going to be done every Sunday night with different trainers. So it's going to be me a lot of Sundays. You're going to get Jen Okoro some weeks. You're going to get Andy Gonzalez, Juan Rivera. You're going to get a lot of our best trainers in the whole company doing this call every single week with you guys, being hands-on, helping out however we can. So definitely encourage you, keep plugging in every single Sunday. You're going to hear the same information over and over again, and you're going to realize if I just mastered just what they're saying every single Sunday, I can do this, because anyone can do this. So great question, Mark.
Alex,
Yes.
I have a question. America is not in New York yet, right?
Yes.
And
Marcel, you muted. But I think I know what your question is. Marico is not New York, correct? For New York, you're going to lead with Foresters and National Life Group. Marcel, if you reach out to Jen, she can coach you through the products. New York is weird with their laws. So Jen can coach you through Foresters and NLG for New York.